How's it going, everyone, and welcome to your second Java tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be covering conditional statements. So conditional statements are pieces of code that are executed depending on some condition. If that condition is met, you do a specific code. If there's another condition met, you do something else. And you just keep on doing that. So let's say, for example, let me give you a real-life example. Let's say we're going outside and we don't know if it's raining or not, and so we check the weather. And now, in our mind, what's going on is that we're thinking, okay, so if it rains, we're going to pack an umbrella. If it doesn't rain, we don't pack an umbrella. We're going to directly translate that into Java. So whenever you're writing a conditional statement, you write if, and then in your brackets, you write the condition, and in your curly braces, you write the block of code that you want to execute if this condition is met. So let's write, well, first we're going to have a boolean. So as long as it's true, then some certain code works, and if it's false, something else happens. So when we declare a boolean, we write boolean, and we're going to name it condition, which is equal to, let's say, true. We could have set this to false, but let's set it to true. Or actually, just to make it more clear, we can write raining. So if it's raining, which it is, it's going to do something. So here, in this bracket, we're going to write if the condition raining is equal to true. So we write equal if we're comparing the two operations, or if we're comparing the two values. So if true is equal to true, then we're going to execute the code. And here we're going to write system.out.println pack an umbrella. And now, what happens if this is not true? So directly in Java, that translates to else, which just means, hey, listen, if this is not true, then you're going to execute this. So for everything else besides this one condition, we're going to print whatever's in here. So we're going to write system.out.println don't oops. And basically what's happening is that since raining is equal to true, it's going to go through this condition first. So it sees, is raining equal to true? Yes, it is. So it's going to execute this block of code. Now let's set this equal to false, and let's see what happens. So since this is false, it's going to go through this condition. And it sees that this isn't met, so it completely skips whatever's in the curly braces for this one condition, and it goes to the next. And it sees that else. So this else is satisfied because it's everything else besides this. And so it goes into here and says don't pack an umbrella. So let's set this to true, hit run, and let's see what happens. That's exactly what we were expecting. It says pack an umbrella. Now if we write false, what happens? So it says don't pack an umbrella. So you might be wondering, this is at most two different conditions that can be possible, because a boolean is either true or false. What happens if you have something with three conditions? What's going to happen? That is when we utilize an else if. So let's say, for example, we have a variable called age. So let's say, for example, we had a variable called int speed, and this is how fast the car is going. So we're going to have three conditions. As long as speed, well, if the speed is less than, let's say, 50 kilometers an hour, we're going to print out you're going too slow. If the speed is exactly equal to 50, we're going to print out you're traveling at the perfect speed. And if you're above 50, we're going to print out, hey, you're going a bit too fast. So let's say speed is equal to 52. Now we're going to have an if statement that says if speed is less than 50, then we're going to print out, I'm just going to copy this because I don't want to print that entire thing out every single time. We're going too slow. Now, what if it's exactly at 50? Well, this is when we utilize an else if. So else if, and we have a certain condition. Remember, in else, we didn't have a condition because we didn't need one. It's literally everything else. But in else if, it says, okay, if the first condition is not met, then we're going to try out a second condition. So let's say if speed is exactly equal to 50, then we're going to print out you are traveling at the perfect speed. And now we can write else, because what other possibility is there? Of course, it's going to be everything that's greater than 50. So here we're going to write else, and system.println, you are going too fast. So since speed is equal to 52, we're going to see that this is not met, this is not met, so it has to go to else. So it prints out you're going too fast. Now let's set this to 10. You are going too slow, because speed is less than 50, and so it prints out this. Now what if it's exactly 50? Well, of course, it's going to print this else if statement, and it says you are traveling at the perfect speed. So that's all there is to conditional statements. It's basically code that's run depending on some certain condition. I really hope this tutorial helped, and if it did, please leave a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next